Hey guys, it's Max. How's everyone doing today? Sorry this is late. It's my birthday today. I woke up and I wanted to take Jax for a walk. Here comes Jax. I turned 58 today. And I did that, but then I've been trying to put the show on for like an hour, but I've been having data problems. I'm thinking about subscribing to something, maybe getting Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets just isn't cutting it for me. I've got this thing, Y Sheets. I'm going to try it. It's a subscription service that makes Google Sheets work better. But right now, for instance, like I want to show you guys, we're going to start with Defiance. Then we'll go to Yield Max later. But on Defiance, what do we always do? We look at the strike we've sold, and then we have to look at the option price, or the price of SPX, which is always right here in this cell. And it's saying NA, and it's been saying it all day. I've been troubleshooting this all day. Not only that, it won't even give me a price of WDTE either. In fact, if you go to my call spread report, which is my Yield Max report, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stocks pulling back NA. So, and this isn't like, usually when the spreadsheet's messing up, it's something I've done. I forgot to do something, slept in too late and didn't update the number the night before, or forgot to. It's usually my fault. This is a different kind of problem, and I think this is the kind of problem a little money can fix. If that's the case, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to give myself for my birthday, I'm going to subscribe to something. Maybe I'll just have to get Microsoft Excel and some kind of stock market data service in Excel. I don't know. I'm going to do some research as soon as I get off from here. Anyway, let's try to do this report the best we can. So WDTE, they did sell options at the 58.66 level for 14 bucks. We can look at the chart and we can see that we aren't in good shape on that trade. It's going to be a bad trade. So SPX is selling off today. All right. Well, and there's the profit box. It's way under the profit box. Hell, we still have an hour left in the day. Shit, and it's going down right now. We just want the day to end at this point. But in any event, you can see the difference between 8 and 62. Their options are at 62. The last two digits, 66 actually, and we're at 8. So what does that equal? Like 12? I'm sorry, 12. Something like 42, 56, 40, 42, something like that. Okay, so 42 points in the money. We were 29 points in the money. I tried to do this report a little while ago, but I just kept running into problems. But in any event, this SPX, this number should update automatically, and we would have all this. But in any event, this trade's going to be down about $500,000 right now, which is going to bring them to even on the month, actually. The dividend estimate's about 40 cents. All right, triple QY. Now this one's working. So triple QY, they sold options at 20,469 level. The market's trading at 2139, which is 300 some odd points lower. Right now, this one is at $2 million loser, actually 2.8. This is only the second loss of the month for triple QY. They've also lost 1.9. A few weeks ago, or about a week and a half ago. All right, well, these guys are still up 58 cents a share, and the dividend estimate is 43 cents. Okay, so that'll work, I guess. IWMY, these guys, okay, get this. These guys sold options at the 22.44 strike. The market for them, which is Russell, RUT, is trading at 22.63. I saw that earlier. I was like, are you shitting me? Look at this. That's SPX. That's Russell. Russell's way up above its profit box. It's selling off the past couple of hours, but it was up, straight up all morning. All right, well, that's good. So I always say Russell's either the strongest or the weakest. Usually it's the weakest, to be honest. Today it's the strongest, so that's good. These guys are realizing the entire $462,000 they're going for, and their earnings per share is a positive 40 cents on the month. Dividend estimates 52 cents, which is a yield of around 77. Okay, so now let's look at USOY. Okay, now I fixed their dividend estimate, and I know it's still super high at $1.78, but I had a number in here. I had a trade in here twice. I took that out, and even though this is high, I looked at it and it should be close. I know it's high. But I mean, right now, but their NAV's sucking today. Right now on USO, they sold the 78 strike put. The market's dropping. Oil's dropping. Oil gap down huge this morning. Now it's bouncing from where it opened this morning, I guess, but this trade does not expire till tomorrow. So they have till tomorrow for this option to expire. So we'll see how they do. We'll see how they do. Now let's slide over here to Yield Max land. Let's look at the call spread report. Yeah, I wish the damn prices were working. Okay, well, we can see the first column is the top strike of the call spread. Okay, so this is the number we want the stock to go over. So we want Coinbase to go over 187 or 190. They had spreads all over the place, but those were kind of the top strikes. They're at 194, so that's awesome. All right. Apple and Apple's one of the ones that's not working, but now Apple's working. We want Apple to be over 235. Unfortunately, Apple's just trading at 233, but we're only on Tuesday. You know, a lot of these trades don't expire until next week, and some of these don't expire until the week after next. But anyway, it goes on down the list, and you can see the other ones are a little bit further away. So this triple threat is a spreadsheet I really like that is derived from, or is a chart that I really like that's derived from that last spreadsheet. That last spreadsheet has so many holes in the data, you know, like PayPal, we're missing, Apple is not there. It almost makes it where it's useless. I mean, anyway, it frustrates me, obviously. Okay, so there's not really a bunch we can say about that spreadsheet. Let's look at the index buffer. Half of this stuff isn't working either. You know, T-SPY's not unchanged on the day, but it's acting like it is. We'll check out. Okay, here's SPY-T down 65 bips. The SPY's down 89 bips. Okay, well, SPY-T's catching a lot of downside. Let's see what T-SPY's catching just for fun. We'll just look up T-SPY's price this way. T-SPY's down 1.5% right now. But it's a high-powered fund. The more high-powered the funds are, like ULTY, you always see down or up more than its parent. The more high-powered the fund has, the more likely that is to happen. Earlier in the day, I was checking, and KQQQ was outperforming its parent on the downside. It isn't anymore. QYY is catching almost all the downside, unfortunately. Maxi and Beto look good. New buffer report. Okay, so pretty much anything that involves buffer or spreadsheets sucks today. So let's look other places. Okay, so option strat. I have a trade in here that's a really good illustration of how these yield max trades work and why they're so badass. It's called Beast of a Trade. There it is. It's up 21 million today. It was up like 35 yesterday. The market's pulling back today. They're still killing it though. Okay, so this right here is long, like the equivalent of 1.3 million shares of MicroStrategy. So when you own MicroStrategy, this is a huge bullish bet on Bitcoin, essentially, right? Well, in addition to doing that, they've sold a covered call spread. So that means they're capped up to 220. If MicroStrategies goes to 220, they're actually capped until they get to 240, and then they're uncapped again. But between 220 and 240, they're capped, right? So, but when you have that many shares, you could see they're making money, tons of money, and see that credit, the money they've already been paid is $4 million just to sell the call spread. That's what the call spread brought in. They sold these options for $3.60 and they bought these for 60 cents. So between them, they got $3. You just think it's like $3. Okay. But let's look at Jay's strategy here. So these expire the 18th. Jay's strategy is usually somewhere around like today or tomorrow. Here's like Thursday morning. That would be optimum. Sometime like soon, he'll get out of the stock before the flat spot shows itself. Okay, so even if he's right on top of where the flat spot is, it won't be affecting him yet because he rolls. So basically, it's a hack where he's basically he's trying not to give up any upside. In covered calls, you give up a lot of upside. In covered call spreads, you give up some upside too, but not near as much. So that's the game these guys play, and I watch it every day. But it really won't come into effect until we get above 220. So it's really not affecting this one that much right now. This is pretty much acting just like a normal covered call. It brought in $4 million worth of income. So that's good to see. So let's see what else. Let me see if I have any other trades. I have a new dark MAGA trade or a political trade. I'll show you then. Stick around till the end if you want to see that. Let's do this. Let's see what's moving today. Okay, yeah. VIX is up. Look at this. And VIVIX is up. Oh, so it's a good time to talk about, when we talk about VIX and VIVIX, it's a good time to talk about my volatility, my volatility metric or whatever. It's still bearish. And of course, it's working out well today. Let's turn it on. Well, actually, we'll just keep that on. But it hasn't been working out so well recently. I was going to show you the reason it didn't go. It's a rules-based system. In my system, it needs 2 closes under the Bollinger Band and under the 200-day. We got 1 close, but it has to be in the same direction too, a continuation of the direction. That way you don't get just lots of times you get a 1-day fake out and then it goes back the other way. And that's really just exactly what happened. But if we would have had another down close, any more momentum down in volatility, that this thing would have switched from pink to green. I would have said, okay, it's bullish. The system's bullish now. So the system has been bearish the whole time, and it hasn't been right yet because the market's going up. But I mean, I'm sticking with it. But this could very easily, though. We'll see what happens tomorrow, depending on what happens with volatility. If they start selling volatility tomorrow, yeah, my system will probably switch to green. So it'll probably switch to buy. This hasn't been a great signal. It said sell at 571, and here we are at 581. But the market's pulling back right now. Who knows? We'll see. If the market keeps pulling back, maybe the signal can be right yet. All it's reacting to, it can't predict the future. All it's telling us is how hedged the market is, and just basically how much protection people have on. That's what it's trying to tell you. When people have protection on and or are adding protection, it's red. It's cautious because it thinks the market's pull back. But then when the opposite's happening, when people are pulling protection off, like back here earlier in September, in September, it'll turn green. Lots of times it turns green, when people start taking hedges off, like back here in August, it turned green right after that pullback around SPY 525 within like a week or 2 weeks. It was by August 21st, it's at 555. So anyway, the system works really well lots of times. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see, but it's still red. So thank you for listening to that explanation of it. But yeah, it almost turned green this morning. If it just needed another bearish close. All right. So, let's do this now. Let's look at the political trades for those of you that are still here. Here's the clusterfuck strategy. All right. So I don't care if you're MAGA or not MAGA. It doesn't matter at this case. A few weeks ago when DJT was so low, I was thinking, okay, a person could make a bullish bet on DJT and probably bet on Kamala at the same time and win money either way. It'd be like free money. But now that DJT has moved from like, it was like 17 when I was, when I started saying that, and now it's at 28. It was at 30 earlier. I thought I saw it. But now that it's moved so far, I think that, maybe the move's already happened, or maybe it does go, maybe it goes on up here from here to 40. But I think the money's been made. So here is a sweet trade just for the rest of let's see, hang on, I made a better one. All right, well, let's see here. Change expiration. I'm going to change this expiration back to January. Okay. It adds some risk, but this is a great trade, and this trade could work for a pro Trump guy, or it could just work for somebody that's just, that just it doesn't rely on Trump getting elected to make money. Okay. Let me show you how. It's a pretty wide bid-ask spread up here is the only problem. Oh, no wonder. I put it out till 26. Okay. Here we go. Okay, now check this out. This is actually a really good trade. I'm going to put this one on myself most likely, or something like this. There's a variety of ways you could do it. I'm seeing which way looks like the best risk reward. Okay, here's the trade. It's called the clusterfuck strategy or clusterfuck spread. It doesn't rely on prices to go up or down. DJT could go down. We'll roll it forward. It's just designed to go to election day. There's election day. If DJT is down, as long as it's not down lower than 1775, that's kind of about the break even on it. Okay, so if it drops to 20, this trade's a $90 winner, and it costs about $320 to put on. So, but that's if volatility does not do anything. I bet you anything, volatility goes from, and when I'm talking volatility, I mean, we're buying this option right here, or I'm sorry, we're buying this option. That's a 193 vol. So we're paying that, but we're selling this option at a 297 vol because the 297 option expires before or right around the time of the election. This is like arbitrage or whatever. We don't really care which way the market moves. Don't want it to move big either way. We just want a kind of a contained move, a little bit up, a little bit down, and we're golden on this type of trade, especially because it's a bet on a heightened volatility. So even if the market does nothing, it doesn't go anywhere, this trade is, after the election, it's worth about $400. However, if the market doesn't go anywhere, but volatility goes up from 245 to, we'll just bump it 50%. That would be hard to see at all post-election. So we'll just bump it just a measly 50%, which is a pretty good bump. But let's just say, the election comes, it's contested, and there's riots in the street or whatever. I'm not rooting for that, but I'm saying if that were to happen, and the market showed the volatility too, even if the market didn't go anywhere, DJT's price was the same, this would turn into a $500 winner. Now, if DJT's price goes up 50% at the same time, volatility goes up 50%, that's kind of the perfect storm. And that's really kind of what you're aiming for. You're aiming for a price of about 42. You know, that's what you want, but you don't have to be a Trump fan. You know, you could also make money if price went to 20. If price went to 20, but volatility went up, it's worth $210. Okay. So, you know, and wonder if volatility goes, I wouldn't be surprised if volatility does something crazy, regardless of who wins. But anyway, I think a person could just do this one and be just predicting volatility. If you if you wanted to make it a hedge play, hit me up in the DMs. Depends on what you think is going to happen. You could bet this together with, you know, it depends on what you're going to happen. This makes some interesting ideas, but I would just play this and just root for chaos. That didn't sound right. You don't really want chaos, but just root for, you know, volatility. Just put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to save this trade. It's $325 debit. Let's make sure these prices are realistic. So, I mean, this is a pretty big spread, but the way I make sure that it's worth it is go ahead and put in the full ask price. And then when I sell at the full, the bid, of course, the lowest of the two prices, and look at the math. So actually it's not $340 worth. At those, hopefully you can get it filled at mid price for $340 worth of risk. If you get it filled at the best price for the broker, for the market maker, it's about $370 worth of risk, but not a lot of risk, in my opinion, for what you're getting. You don't need the price to move at all. You just want volatility to go. Now, granted, if the price does move, you can still make money. If the price goes to 100, you'll still make $121. And that's if volatility doesn't get elevated. There's no way in the world DJT goes to 100 and volatility doesn't also go up 100% or something. That'd be a $400 winner in that case. This right here is a solid trade. It would work for a Trump guy, but it would also work for somebody that's just rooting for volatility, you know. Okay, so anyway, I'll stop harping on that. That's one of the better trades I've come up with, the clusterfuck strategy. Semi bullish to neutral MAGA. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to give the anti-Trumpers a way to play this too, a decent anti-Trump trade. And it's called the bearish DJT trade. Okay, now if Kamala wins, it's going to come, in my opinion, with less volatility. If, you know, maybe Trump actually, maybe, who knows, maybe he concedes or something. That in that case, if he conceded or something, and I'm just saying, or something, they made nice or whatever, volatility would go down. Well, on this kind of spread, you want volatility to go down. But on this kind of spread is short volatility. This is a broken wing butterfly. And when you lock in your volatility where you sell this. So if volatility goes lower, that's good because you sold higher. So this is a way to bet on less volatility and also to bet on DJT, just not to go above 35. This could even work for a Trumper if you thought, even if you're a Trumper, but you thought, you know, DJT's about done. I mean, this is, I mean, because the other one the other one is pretty much relying on heightened volatility. This one is locked in. The spread's locked in. This is what you're going to make. So, okay. So here's the thing on this spread. When you put on this kind of trade, volatility going up makes this trade work out better. We would love for that to happen. What we anticipate, though, is volatility going down. But if you watch, volatility goes down. Watch this. When volatility goes down right here, if volatility drops 50%, your break even actually goes lower. It makes this trade work out better. So you're rooting for if you do this broken wing butterfly, you're rooting for less volatility and lower stock prices in DJT, or if it goes higher, just not to go higher than like 34. Okay. Now this one, you bring in $115 credit to do it. It's about $300 risk. So you get about 1 for 3. You know what you really, this trade's good. Even if DJT goes to 0, this trade's worth $115. So it may not seem like a lot, but it's about 30% over the course of a month. So, I mean, you know, if it was annualized, it's about a double your money in the course of a year. Anyway, I think this is an interesting trade too for the person that's maybe wants to take the opposite side of the other trade. Bearish DJT trade. Okay, boom. I'll share those in the comments. So view save trades. Let me see if I have anything else to, oh yeah, the $250,000 baby. So it's doing well today. We looked at this one yesterday. Now let's make sure that this one's good. So this is supposed to insure $250,000 of the Qs. You can really tell up here by looking at the max profit. The max profit is also how much it insures. So it really insures a little bit less than $250,000. Also, the way I designed these spreads is that insurance doesn't kick in until you drop 5%. And that just makes it a little bit cheaper. So that means that if the market, you know, you don't make, but if the market drops 10%, the market drops 10% and you had this spread on, you would make $12,000. Or it's not even a spread, it's just 5 puts. You know, if that's, you know, so the market drops, you know, 30%. By the end of the year, this would make $61,000. But of course, if you had a $250,000 portfolio and the market dropped 30%, you would lose about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in your $250,000 portfolio, right? Something like that. This helps replace some of it. This is a hedge. So that's the $1 million baby. They're posted in yesterday's. I'll try to repost them if anyone's interested. There, you know, there's a SPY edition and a Q edition, but they aren't spreads. They're just where you buy puts. Let's look at the SPY. So this one insures about 274. You know, the market drops 30% by New Year's Eve. This thing replaces about 70,000. That's good. All right. So we got the clusterfuck strategy, the yield max beast of a trade. I think that's about all we have to look at right now. Let's see what the SPX is doing. God, it was kind of worrying me last time. Yeah, selling off and on the lows of the day. You know, I'm big on the second signal in the same direction outside of the Bollinger Bands. That's what it takes to activate any of my systems. 2 in the same direction outside. So like if this was my trigger, it isn't, but you would definitely be bearish anytime after about 12:30 because you had your second close. And after 1 o'clock, there's, you know, not been any good news. It's just all sell-off territory. Not that it can't turn around and bounce back, but right now it's trending. It's outside the Bollinger Bands and it's trending down. So, let's see if the Russell's still up. Yeah, it's still up. Look, they're just barely hanging on to the profit box. All right, guys. So I'm going to get out of here and go do something with these dogs. Maybe I'll be back for an update after at 3 or 4. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I really have to get these spreadsheets fixed. I been up late the past couple of nights working on my retirement simulator, and it does some amazing stuff. Amazing. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. But anyway, looks like I'm gonna have to subscribe to something or gonna have to do something to get my spreadsheets fixed. I might just get Excel. Maybe I'll just get the Microsoft Cloud, and I'm sure there's tons of stuff that goes with Microsoft. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully I'll see you later. All right. Have a good day.